Yeah, and unfortunately, we couldn't quite do that for this, so just use your imagination. Yeah, unfortunately, we may never get to have a mod with all the coding tricks that Night Nurse did, so... But, like I said... What? My head jolts up from my desk and I'm breathing heavily. I take a moment to scan the room. I remember everything now. But where's... Amy is right in front of me. Akane is at her desk. She's okay. She's alive and completely unharmed. What was all of that? Was that the real nightmare? Ugh, I don't even know anymore. I look at my desk. There's no knife or notebook in front of me. Instead, there's a cake. The cake I was going to give Akane as a gift. How is it here, though? I get up from my desk and walk over to Amy. I don't even know where to begin here, but I just need to talk to someone about this. I thought about talking with Akane about this, but something tells me not to. I then look over to Amy, who's a neutral party in this. Sure, she makes fun of me for being a loser and a pervert, but that's exactly why she's the ideal option. I literally have nothing to lose talking to her since she already thinks negatively about me. Logic! What do you want, Daniel? Stop staring at me with those lecherous eyes of yours, would you? I'm ignoring that. Okay, so then what's on your mind? Is it about Akane again? Well, I've wanted to confess to her for the longest time, ever since she transferred over to our school, but I end up hesitating every single time. It also feels like when I have tried confessing to her, she just rejects me every single time. And there's always a different reason, too. Except for the parts where it technically wasn't. I see. So you're finally starting to accept the truth. The truth? What truth? Don't you see it by now? Come on, Daniel. You can't be that dense, can you? He's not dense, he's just not well developed. Okay, well... I would like to imagine our MCs are at least a little more developed. Although I know some people complained about the original Shattered Time MC being annoying and whatever, but... Well... At the beginning, yes, but it is explained that the only reason he kind of became so bitter and angry at the world was... he didn't exactly have the nicest life. Granted, it was not as bad as Shattered Time Natsuki's life, but he still wasn't very happy, and it kind of showed. So he has a reason to be sort of like rude and angry to everybody, because he just kind of feels like the world's kind of kicked him around, and like the universe and the world hate me, so why should I bother? This MC, he's kind of similar to the base game MC, with some minor flourishes here and there. Obviously, Akane doesn't exist in the base game, so that's different. Amy doesn't exist in the base game. But, yeah. Anyway, though. Why are you so hell-bent to confess to her in the first place, then? You said it yourself, right? So obviously admiring her from far away isn't getting me anywhere. If anything, it's just making things worse. Here I thought you only liked her for her feet or something. Would you cut that out already? I'm only kidding. Anyway, so you want to confess to her. What are you expecting out of this? Well, I'd like to make her happy. Especially after knowing how crummy her home life is and how difficult things have been for her. I heard a little bit about Destiny and Momoko bullying her, but I didn't think that was true. After hearing her talk about it, though, it's worse than I thought. Before, I just thought Akane was this beautiful and mysterious girl with a wonderful smile and warm personality. Now, though, I want her to be safe and embrace happiness. That's very noble of you, Daniel. Man, yeah, my voice is kind of... Yep. Amy's voice is a little harder for me to do, or at least this version of Amy's voice. I haven't watched those the Shatter Time video, so I don't remember how I made her voice before. I think it was something similar to what I'm giving her now. Anyway. That's very noble of you, Daniel. For all my jokes and barbs towards you about being some kind of sexual deviant, it's good to know that you're far from that. You only want to love and cherish her. To see her happy. To be a light in her darkest hour. That's the kind of person a young woman like Akane needs in her life. She's already had guys who just want her for her looks. I want to be there for her. Even if I can't do much now, I'd like to be the partner she deserves someday. That's why I want to tell her, Amy. It's the logical thing to do. And I want to try to be that partner for her, just like you said. I have to try. The only problem is... Let me guess. You're scared to hear her answer, right? I nervously nod. I'm not sure why I'm telling her all of this. Well, I mean, you kind of said she's a neutral party and she probably won't judge you. I'm not sure how I remember everything I've gone through up to this point. I don't know anything anymore. Well, I don't have anything left to lose at this point, right? And yet... I know I'm going to sound insane, but I feel like I've relived this day so many times already. I'm surprised as Amy smiles to herself and nods. I see. So then it looks like you finally figured it out, lover boy. It took you a lot longer than I thought it would for you, but I think things will finally straighten themselves out now. Admittedly, I hated having to sit here and babysit you and this version of Akane, but you are worth it. Wait a minute. You felt the time loop as well? You're half right. This isn't shattered time, you fool. For your sake, I have only been playing along as to not freak you out. I was hoping you would have figured it out sooner, but better late than never, right? Then can you help me? Every time I've confessed to Akane, she's turned me down for some random reason. That's your subconsciousness playing with you, Daniel. What are you talking about? Clearly, you love this girl and want to tell her. The problem is that you were always too scared she would reject you deep down. I mean, I've seen you every so often catching glances at her. Just when I thought you'd confess to her, you always back down. Deep down, you're too scared that you're not good enough for her. So you'd always shoot yourself down before you even get the chance to talk to her. I feel like I'm hit by lightning as that realization dawns on me. She's right. After all this time. That's right. This isn't much of a time loop if you think about it. Or, this isn't even much of a time loop if you think about it. Your subconscious fear of rejection and the unknown serves as the foundation of this little dimension. You've created this room. You're the one projecting Akane and this school as you see them. The Akane you've built up in your head constantly rejects you. As such, this Akane is no different. What's strange, though, were some anomalies that squirmed their way in here. Yeah, and there's a few that I like to talk about. What are you saying? Do you remember the puzzle pieces and the notebook? Yeah, I don't think I have those anymore, though. The puzzle pieces are made of a special metal called xenothioid. It has special properties that make it resistant to magic. That special lock fitted on the notebook is made of the same thing. It serves another purpose, though. Xenothioid metal is used to craft certain magic objects, including what some might call a memory pendant. Okay, and you're telling me this because... Because those puzzle pieces and the notebook stayed with you each time the day would reset itself. Not only that, but all 5 of them were acting like a memory pendant to try and unlock your memories. For whatever reason, though, it looks like it didn't work out, did it? I guess not. I'm still completely lost on what's going on, though. Here's another anomaly for you. This Akane conflicts with the real Akane, who is actually head over heels for you. At the same time, she's as hopeless as you are when it comes to love, since she was afraid you'd reject her if she ever tried to talk to you. What? I'd never do that. How would she know? She was too scared to ever talk to you, Daniel. The same way you were scared to talk to her. Somehow, though, the real Akane's wish seemed to break through. Twice, in fact. It was actually more times than that. But technically, Amy wasn't really paying attention. But I'll get into that in a moment. The first being when you got to have that heart-to-heart with her after she took you to see the nurse. Wait, so then... I back away from her abruptly, holding my arms out in defense. Why the hell did you beat me to death with a bat? I told you, that was an anomaly. You weren't supposed to see or experience that. You also weren't supposed to give into your dark side and nearly murder her out of frustration. Then again, that wasn't entirely your doing, was it? Oh, you saw that. I did. Taranko simply took those hurt emotions of yours and amplified them into pure rage and hatred. And yet the real Akane broke through once again, acting through the dream Akane your mind created. So the other times that she technically breaks through is... well, one of the previous loops in which MC tries to give her the cake, and she's here like, I can't accept this, these things are wasted on me, I don't deserve this. That was Akane. Like, the real Akane's wish, again. Kind of going back to that. That was her kind of, like, expressing, like, yeah, I feel like I don't deserve someone like you. You should just forget about me and look for someone better. Like, she is that... like, she's fallen hard for MC, but she is just so scared that he's gonna just reject her, that she's already here telling herself, I'm not worthy of you, I don't deserve your gifts, I don't deserve your love, just forget about me. The other time was a lot earlier in the game, when she kind of does something similar. The only clue you kind of get is when Akane's like hiding her face from him so that he can't see her eyes. That's because he does, or she didn't want him to see her sad. Because again, she's here already thinking, like, yeah, this whole thing, I don't deserve someone like you being in love with me. Even though I'm head over heels for you, you are too good for me, and I'm not good enough. So, kind of going back to what Black Rose Akane said. Yeah. The young man who's been trying to confess to the girl he's loved, and the girl who's struggling to love herself in the process. So, yeah, Amy technically wasn't paying attention those times, though, so... But those were meant to be clues, like, yeah, the real Akane is kind of trying to force her way in, but, yeah, obviously, MC was still kind of fighting it, and Tarankos didn't help much. Once again, she came to your rescue before you did something you would regret. Had the other ending come out, well, this anomaly actually wouldn't have happened because, again, he would have killed her. But I didn't want that anymore. But, yeah, obviously, I threw that decision out the window, and I'm here like, yeah, I don't want him to kill her. So, instead, I kind of created this whole new scenario where it's like, yeah, once again, Akane's trying to reach out to MC in her own sense. Kind of trying to save him from, yeah, doing something that he's going to regret, even though it's not the real Akane. The fact is, like, he's still, in his mind, it is still Akane. Just, I guess, even though it's like an imaginary fake version of her, it's still Akane to him. And, yeah, for him to be like, I killed the woman I love, like, really? Like, there's no going back from that. I'm pretty sure, yes, that would mess you up forever, and... Well, I did not want that MC to have to go through all that. And like I said, I didn't want this to be so depressing and dark. I wanted it to be a little more uplifting. Anyway. So halfway into that... Exactly. At first, that was just the dream Akane rejecting you again, even saying you were a nuisance to her. Harsh, I know, but that was one of the things you were afraid the real Akane would say to you. When you had her up against the wall, though, the real Akane crept back in again to snap you out of it. Although... Yes? Even if this Akane isn't real, that was still very destructive of you, Daniel. Then again, I guess that's what you get for going against the will of Tarankos. Believe me when I say you got off lucky. He could do much worse if you catch him on a bad day. So this classroom and this Akane are just... Amy waves her hand and Akane vanishes. That's right. Aside from the real Akane's true feelings intruding upon this illusion, everything here was all made up by you. It's all fake. As I move to sit at a desk, the chair and desk fade away, and I land bottom first on the floor. Soon the entire classroom fades away as well. Do you remember this place? Of course I do. I live around here. What else? Sayuri lives around here as well. What else? Quit playing games, Amy. What are you getting at here? Are you telling me that you don't remember? Even after you saw that memory, you sealed away out of denial?
You were on your way back from the bakery with the cake you got for Akane when all of a sudden...
There was this kid, and then... Amy, did I...
Not quite. Your soul is in limbo right now. As of right now, you are comatose in a hospital bed after getting hit by a bus.
And I guess the final major change I did to the script... MC actually would have died in this story. So... this whole thing where, yeah, he's in a coma after getting hit by the bus, that didn't happen. Because, again, I felt like it was too depressing. Even for this story, I just felt like this isn't right. Especially if you consider, like... well, the real Akane. How is she gonna feel hearing that MC died? You know, like... I just felt like it would have been too sad if he had died, so... I couldn't do it. I just felt like, no. I have to... This story is gonna become too depressing, and I don't want that.
That kid you saved suffered a scraped knee and elbow from getting pushed out of the way, but you ultimately saved him. You weren't so lucky. You can't stand in the middle of the road in front of an oncoming bus and expect to make it out without a scratch. But why? Why now?
Oh god. Kind of a jump scare. I feel a chill run down my spine as I spot a familiar shadow looming behind Amy. It's that freaky masked guy!
Back off, pal. I've got this one under control now, so beat it.
Very well, then. He then vanishes as mysteriously as he appeared.
Loser.
Who the hell was that?
Him. Don't mind him. He's just a drama queen and a simp lord for this floozy I hate a lot, that's all. He's nothing to be afraid of. Never mind. Just think of him as a poor man's version of the Grim Reaper. At least, that's how he sees himself in his head. That's why he's been following you around this whole time.
In the original... well, hold on, yep. Let's let Amy explain more first.
For some reason, he's been trying to get a hold of your soul and make you accept your fate.
Which, in that sense, would have been... he's dead. So Jugral would have been kind of here like... you're a lost wayward soul, I'm here to claim your soul, and... you know... but you have to accept that you're dead and there's nothing you can do. In this case, though, he isn't dead, but yeah, like Amy said, like, virtually, there's almost no way that, like, yeah, you're gonna be hurt a lot by an oncoming bus. I mean, I think that much is obvious, so. But in this case, he actually did... well, he didn't die on impact, but yeah, he's not in a good spot right now. Like, he could die. So in the context of the new story, Jugirl's kind of, like, trying to, you know, convince him, like, yeah, there's no hope for you. You're already dead, basically, so, you know, come on. Let's get going.
I'm not sure what Tarankos ordered him to do, but that's beside the point. Although, I know I'm going to get in trouble for doing this, but I kind of deviated from Tarankos' plan for you just a bit.
So you were working for him this whole time?
Yes. He wanted to torment and corrupt your soul for a bit to try out an experiment, but... well... fine, I don't know why I stepped out of line for you, okay?
Amy is usually calm and composed, if not a bit snarky. This time, however, she seems legitimately flustered about something. Penny for your thoughts, Amy?
Don't use my lines against me, Daniel. God, you're such an idiot! I don't know why Amy...
you're Amy.
I don't know why Akane has a thing for you. You're so stupid, you know that? Hell, I don't know why I'm doing this for you. Hell, I don't even know why I'm doing this for you. I'm supposed to hate you. And yet...
Are you okay?
just leave me alone, alright? I've never felt like this before, so stop being such a jerk.
Okay, just calm down.
Anyway, as of right now, your paranoia and desire to talk to Akane is the only thing keeping your soul tethered to this universe.
So, in that sense, it's like, yeah, he's kind of here, like, he has a wish of his own. And that's what's keeping him, like literally fighting for his life, because he wants to live so he can tell this girl, I care about you. I want you to be my girlfriend. And I want to make sure that you're happy.
While in limbo, you basically went into full-on denial and locked away that memory of the bus hitting you.
Okay, that's a little... yeah, I don't know why I put that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be... yeah, locked away that memory of the bus hitting you. So...
I did what? Well, maybe subconsciously locked away the memory might be the better way to put it. Anyway, with that memory gone, you were able to stay locked in this nice little room where you could confess to Akane. Your low opinion of yourself, however, manifested itself into the Akane that kept rejecting you over and over. Basically, this dream world Akane was rejecting you in as many ways as your mind could think of as possible.
Oh. So that's why I was stuck confessing to her.
Right. It's like a never-ending torture. That is, until something happened I don't think Tarankos was expecting.
You said the real Akane... you said the real Akane was creeping into this dream world. Is that it?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how the real Akane's will managed to break through, but I only have a few theories.
Akane's will.
Did you already forget? She has feelings for you too, you dolt. She just has a low self-opinion of herself too. So she'd always talk herself out of saying anything to you anytime she thought about it. You could say that it's her wish. Her very soul is calling out to you right now.
Oh. No, so you're saying that she's...
Yeah. Tarankos underestimated the power of love. The power of a love so strong that it could break through this illusion. Even if it was just for a little while, what you got to experience were the real Akane's hopes and dreams. To be with you. Then, I have to go back. All that stuff she said about the bullies, I can't leave her. I'm sorry, Daniel, but you can't now. I didn't want to do this to you.
What are you trying to say? Do what?
For you right now, you could say I'm kind of like an angel.
Aren't angels supposed to protect people? Or are you some kind of dark angel like this story I read once?
Dark angel? What kind of story were you reading?
So then you wouldn't have tried to do something like tell me to lure Monica into a trap to kill her for some sacrifice?
What? No! Why would I even do that? Besides, have you seen Monica? Why the hell would I tell you to sacrifice a girl like her?
Okay, sorry, just checking. So if you're not a good angel or some fallen angel, then what are you?
Well, you're sort of on the right track. In this case, my role is more like that of an angel of death.
I take a few steps back from her before falling to my knees.
Going back on topic, I was never going to tell you anything since you and I were just simple classmates, but now I was called into action by Tyrankos the moment this tragedy happened.
I never heard of Akane, did I?
No. Like I said, that Akane back there was a fake, built from your inner demons. If anything, she's more like a puppet with Tyrankos pulling the strings. This entire place is just a reflection of your inner heart and mind. As of right now, Akane is waking up for school, trying to keep up with her hectic life. At least for now. After today, she's going to deal with the grief she'll feel for what happened to you once she finds out. It also doesn't help that Desi and Momoko are going to step up their game in bullying her.
I don't want to leave her alone like that, though. She doesn't deserve this.
I'm sorry, Daniel. That's not my call to make here. There's only one way I can see both of us ever being free from this, but that's not happening anytime soon. That would be Tyrankos' sister. If that floozy, Zaretha, were to not only be free from her prison, but take pity on both of us. Where Tyrankos can control time, Zaretha can control the flow of life. As I said, though, I don't see that happening. She's even more demented than Lord Tyrankos himself, if I'm being honest.
So that's it. That's where things stand.
Yeah. I know it sucks, but there's nothing else we can do. That's why they call it fate. It can't be changed or reversed. We can only accept it.
After everything she told me, though, going back to what you were saying before,
Akane's wish.
Were those her actual feelings?
Yes. Every last bit of it. The bullying. The drunken floozy of a mother. The part-time job. All of it. That's why I'm shocked. You weren't supposed to find out about any of that stuff. It's just as I said before. It's like her soul, her very heart, was crying out to you. She was hoping that you would hear her, but even though it worked, it's too late now. I almost feel like a certain someone might have also been pulling some strings for you. Whatever the case, there's only one thing you can do now, Daniel.
What would that be? Amy snaps her fingers and suddenly we're dropped into a new location.
Amor fati, Daniel. Love your fate. And accept it.
No! I can't do that! How am I supposed to love a fate where I'm dead and Akane is suffering? How stupid do you think I am to accept something like that?
Well...
Don't answer that. Okay, I'm here thinking like... That might have still been left over from the original draft, so... Well, like I said, this version, I'm pretty sure will not reflect the final version that you're all playing, so... In a sense, you get to see kind of like a lost version of Forlorn Heart. Like, obviously you're not gonna see the part where MC completely loses it and he does end up, you know, going through with that whole thing. But, yeah. Anyway. Like I said, though, we're just gonna kind of go through this, like, one last time, give it some last fine-tunings, and then, yeah. It should be out pretty soon. Anyway, why did you bring us here?
I just felt like a change of scenery. I also figured you'd at least like to see where Akane lives. Going back to my earlier point, though. If you're seriously going to keep denying this, then you clearly didn't learn anything. Denying your fate will only lead your soul going through an everlasting torment, so there is only one thing you can do. Otherwise, you're most likely going to turn into some kind of evil yandere spirit if you keep doing this crap and living in this pretty little prison you've made for yourself.
I don't even know how to respond to that. In the time I've known her, I've never seen her talk like this. Or have such a serious conversation without making it creepy or weird. I feel my head spinning as I try to come to terms with this. She's right. I know she is. I don't want her to be right, though. If I can't go back to her, is there one last thing I can do for her?
I honestly don't see why not, but it depends on what you're going to do. Obviously, you can't show up as a ghost in her room and confess to her. Plus, I'm not sure if being a dead guy would be a deal breaker for her.
That's not what I'm asking for here, Amy.
Fine, then what's your request?
It has to do with the cake I wanted to give her. Can you see that it makes it to her okay?
Considering what happened, I'm not sure if I can do that entirely. The accident was pretty bad, not going to lie.
I see.
Although, if that other person who pulled some strings for you happens to be listening right now, then maybe he might just grant you that wish of yours.
That's the second time you mentioned someone pulling strings for me. Who would that be?
Well, this is just a theory, but... Tarankos is not the only one of his kind out there, Daniel. I mentioned his younger sister, Zaretha, earlier, but this isn't about her. Where there is shadow, there is also light. I'm starting to wonder if his older brother, Ardicus, has taken some kind of liking to you.
How do you even know about this stuff anyway, Amy? You said you work for Tarankos, but how did that even happen?
It's simple, Daniel. I'm a descendant of the Dark Interlopers, a tribe of witches that worship Tarankos. That is how my family came to serve him for generations.
She looks sad as she admits this to me, looking away at one of the houses to hide her face from me.
So if Tarankos had his own followers, I cannot but wonder if Articus somehow has his own followers, but that's just a theory.
And don't any of you say a game theory. Anyway, well.
Articus. Why do I feel like I've heard that name before? Who can say? You've met Tyrankos many times before. Well, different versions of you anyway, but that's another story. Now then, I guess you'd better get going.
Going where? To the afterlife?
Yeah. Unless you want to stick around for Tyrankos to corrupt your soul.
Yeah, I'm kind of here like... In this case, I guess you could say that it's almost like... Well, again, like I said, the original draft was so much more like... His soul has already been, like... The body is gone. The soul is all that is left. And... Yeah, like, with no body, his soul can only go to the afterlife. But in this version of the story, he is, like, clinging for life. So... Yeah, I'm kind of here like... Well, I'll see what we can do. We are still hoping that it'll be out by the end of this week. So like I said, we'll see. She lets out a deep sigh before looking up at the sky. I don't know why, but I follow her lead. As I think about it, this might be the last time I ever get to see a night sky like this.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see how Tyrankos is going to punish me.
I'm sorry I put you through this. You know, I always thought you hated me and couldn't stand me, but I guess I was wrong.
Fine, I don't actually hate you, Daniel. In fact, I've never hated you. Quite the opposite, in fact. Is that what you wanted me to say?
What?
Amy, I didn't... Yeah, well, now you know. You're such a difficult man. I don't know what Akane even sees in you. And yet, here we are. I'm sticking my neck out for you all because I like... Ugh, whatever. It's not like it matters anyway.
Amy.
But I still think you're an idiot.
I know. I'm so grumpy.
Ugh, fine, you know what? You know what? Fine. I'm probably going to hell anyway. Get over here, you!
Before I can question her, Amy pulls me by my tie and brings my face close to hers, putting her lips to mine for what seemed like forever, before shoving me away toward a bright light. Where am I now? It's my homeroom class. I look around and see students coming in. How am I here? I try to hold up my arms only to realize I don't even have a body. Is this what Amy meant by me becoming a spirit? Daniel. Huh? Who said that? Who are you? You have nothing to fear, Daniel. I brought you here because I answered your call. Wait, so then... Are you Articus, the brother of Tyrankos? You're half right. Tyrankos is the name my brother took after he succumbed to dark forces that tempted his wavering spirit. Never mind that now, though. I understand you know why you are here. I look around and see the cake, neatly packed in place on Akane's desk. There's also a letter sitting next to it, though. That's the chocolate cake I wanted to give Akane. Recreated down to the exact recipe, with my own knowledge and skills.
Wow. You must be incredible at baking, then. But what's that letter next to it?
In addition to the letter you left to Akane, confessing your earnest feelings for her, I penned a letter myself and left it with the cake.
Okay, but why would you do that?
Because there is still hope for you, Daniel. Yeah, you see, like, I guess... Yeah, but you see kind of what I mean? It's like, I guess you could argue it's like Amy and MC have already kind of given up hope, like, yeah, like, there's no way you're gonna survive. Like, Amy even jokes, like, yeah, you can't just show up to Akane's house as a ghost and be like, yeah, I'm a ghost, I'm in love with you. So, yeah, and the original draft ends when Amy pushes him into the light. That's literally where the story would have ended. But like I said, we're not doing that anymore. We're not making this so dark and depressing. Not on my watch. Because there is still hope for you, Daniel. I believe that young woman, Amy, told you what happened after your terrible accident.
You were watching all that then?
Well, yeah. She did. There is still a fighting chance for you, Daniel. You have not departed this earth yet, but you are still clinging to life as we speak. Akane is going to need you in these desperate times. My brother is not the only force at play here. I believe Amy mentioned another to you besides me.
That name, Zaretha.
Correct. My sister, the very shadow that corrupted my brother, is now threatening to do the same thing to Akane. There is only so much I am able to do, but I am fearful I might be too late.
We can't let her do that, though.
My sentiments exactly. Which is why I need you to keep holding on.
What are you saying?
I don't have magical powers to bake cakes at super fast speeds. I'm just a regular person. That's where you are wrong. Not to me, you are.
Huh?
Remember what Amy told you about Akane's wish. You might argue that Akane is a regular person as well. Well, not to me. And neither are you. Akane's wish. Her very heart, calling out to you, was able to break through my brother's spell. It is old magic he has long forgotten about.
What sort of magic?
The magic of hope and love. You're not going to tell me something about how true love triumphs over evil, are you? Well, perhaps not with that exact phrasing. The love you have for Akane is strong, and she has those same feelings for you. This bond you share, your heart was able to answer her call. Now, it's time to make sure her heart answers yours.
Akane's wish.
Precisely. I may be too late to prevent my sister from taking a hold on Akane. Now that my brother has finished toying with you, however, I can make sure to keep your will and body strong. All that I ask is that you not falter and keep believing that your feelings will reach her. I will be with you to ensure Tarankos does not try to corrupt or weaken your spirit again. Think of me as a guide, making sure you stay true to the path of the light. I just need to believe.
As soon as I see that, I see her.
her walking into the classroom, holding the confession letter I wrote to her. Like I said, this was kind of a last-minute... well, okay, not a last-minute addition, but yeah. I had been sitting on that old draft of Forlorn Heart forever, so I'm pretty sure I wrote this in the dead of night, sleep-deprived. She looks kind of flustered for some reason. Amy told me she's going to get bullied a whole lot. Amy told me she's going to get bullied the whole time I'm out of commission. Is there no way I can stop that? If only we could. Zoritha's insidious plan has already begun. It took the combined forces of my brother and I to stop her, before he turned to evil. Be though as it may, if you were to make a transparent wish for Akane's heart to answer, I am sure we can stop Zoritha. She's that strong, huh? It took the combined strength of my brother and myself to seal her away. I look at Akane once again before looking away. I don't even know where Articus is, so I don't know where I should be facing. What do I do now? Let us not linger here. I fear you might not like what you see, should you remain here in this school. Akane will face many hardships, but she will not be alone. She will have her friends by her side, and she will have you. I've also sensed another presence that is surrounding her. Although I cannot determine its origin, I feel it is benevolent and means her no harm. I look back at Akane one last time. It looks like she just finished reading both letters from me and Articus. What I wouldn't give to tell her that I'm right here. That I love her and I want to protect her. I let out a sigh and turn away from her. I can't look back. He's right. Okay. Where are you taking me? If you don't mind, I'll be taking you to one of my favorite medication spots out in the spirit realm. Okay, thank you, Grammarly. Meditation spots. I swear. Yeah, I don't know. Grammarly, why have you betrayed me? We'll be safe to converse there, and you will be safe from Tarankos and Zoritha. There, I'll teach you how to commune with her to hopefully break Zoritha's hold. Alright. I'm ready. Very well. Then let us depart. Before I know it, I feel myself being pulled away from the school and toward what I can only describe as a train station. There, waiting for me at one of the platforms, I see someone. The earth shudders, my brother. I see you have gone to great lengths to interfere where you do not belong. No matter. You may have claimed his soul for now, but thankfully, I still have two in my possession that will suffice. Yes. You may think you've hindered my plans, but you've only just made things more interesting. A darkness rises with light to meet it. And yet, you are nothing more than a fading light in the dark, dear brother. By the time you realize it, all hope will be lost. When the stars align, a perpetual conflict will culminate. upon a world thrust in chaos. The weak will perish in the shadow of the rising darkness. Even when the morrow is devoid of any hope or promise, there is nothing that shall forestall my return. Okay, well...
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you all again. How'd you enjoy the show?
Well, I definitely like it a lot better than what the original draft when I was working with that other guy was. I personally think this turned out much better.
I guess now you can see why this story has a special place for me now, huh? While not me directly, I feel for every Akane scattered throughout the multiverse. We all came from similar walks of life, held the same hopes and dreams, and we share a lot of the same qualities, physically and mentally. The key differences, however, are the circumstances we've encountered and the choices we've had to make that got us to where we are. This Akane is going to have an uphill battle, just as Articus himself put it, that is going to test her more than you can imagine. Speaking of which, it's interesting to see that he stepped out from behind the curtain a little to take an active role. No one's ever seen him in person, so Daniel has the honor of being one of a select few to have an audience with him. His heart was able to hear Akane's wish, crying out to him. The question now is, will he be able to make Akane's heart hear him in return? In some places, love can be described as old magic of sorts, as silly as it sounds. I mean, that old saying of how true love conquers all had to come from somewhere, right? We'll just have to wait until the second chapter of Forlorn Heart is released, won't we? The art of storytelling is amazing, wouldn't you say? Well, that's all for now, but stay tuned for the next part of the story, players. Until we meet again, my little Forlorn Hearts at home, stay golden. And remember that the moonlight is a messenger of love.
Well, not quite the end, but the end for now. So, that was Doki Doki Forlorn Heart Chapter 1, Daydream. Right now, I have actually begun work on Chapter 2. Of course, going back to what I said about how I'd been sitting on this draft of the original Forlorn Heart Chapter 1 for so long, Yeah, I did start something for Chapter 2, but I didn't really get very far, especially because... Yeah, well, let's just say I lost a lot of motivation, especially considering the way that former coder sort of spoke to me at times. Even basically saying that my writing is a load of BS when speaking about Tainted Love. Which, okay, yes, I know that mod. Well, that mod had its issues, let's be real. But outside the obvious thing of it having no happy endings, like, I was still kind of trying to get back into the groove of things. So, as such, I kind of, like, yeah, I was stuck on, like, how to move forward Chapter 2 for the longest time, but with the help of Nightmare Ninja, I have actually been able to kind of find a direction to take the story in, and so far we've both been kind of happy with how it's turned out so far. But, yeah, it's probably going to be a while before Chapter 2 does come out, so... Yeah, sorry about that, but... these things take time, right? And, yeah, I'm still experimenting with ideas, and... yeah. Chapter 1, of course, as you just saw, was pretty much all through MC's point of view. The one thing I'll say about Chapter 2 is... now... it would be through Akane's point of view. So Chapter 1, you see MC kind of going through this whole, like, state of limbo that he's in. Chapter 2 is kind of like, okay, meanwhile, back in, you know, well, the living realm, quote-unquote, this is kind of what's going on for him. Or, well, blah. No, what am I saying? This is what's going on for Akane, and basically all the members of the Literature Club, how they are reacting to this. But, yeah, specifically speaking, it is through Akane's point of view. But, you know, so overall, it feels kind of strange, like, getting to see Akane in, like, a starring role after so long. The character sprites, they were completed sometime in 2022. Like, it's almost strange how close Akane's sprites were done and Darlene's passing were. Like, very, very coincidental. And, yeah, I guess that's why it does feel kind of... well, I don't know how to describe it, but getting to see this character that I wrote as a tribute to a girl that I loved, who, well, unfortunately, she ended up pushing me away, obviously, but even so, when writing Akane, like, Darlene was the one that came to my mind. The person to kind of be, like, the template for Akane. At least partially the template, like I said. Character-wise, she's a mix of me and Darlene. Well, I guess me, Darlene, and the ArdrethShadow persona that you see in my videos, so yeah, the kind of wisecracking smart aleck that I sometimes can be. But, like, yeah, when she was like all, hey kiddo, let mom and dad talk here for a bit. Like, yeah, that was kind of her being like, yeah, like, I've had enough of Amy kind of, you know, talking down on him. So that was sort of her, like, yeah, MC's not feeling well, So I'm gonna step in and, you know, like she's looking out for him. And again, like, that is, like, the real Akane there, who is breaking through. Not the mean Akane that rejects him for whatever random reasons. But, you know, overall, it was also kind of interesting to try to create a mod that centers around an OC, while the, the main literature girls basically take a backseat. Monica and Sayori are only present in a few select scenes, and then Yuri and Natsuki are not present at all. So for the most part, yeah, the ones we really see the most of are Amy and Akane. And then, yeah, Himari makes a cameo as well. So, yeah, it was kind of a, well, to me, it kind of felt like a gamble, because I was sort of here like, yeah, I'm not sure how people are going to react. But, well, I guess I'll see once the mod is fully finished and out for people to play. Anyway, well, I can only hope that for fans of Team Trader, of the channel, that you got to enjoy this nice little story after a very long hiatus, and kind of to know Team Trader's de facto mascot, and one of the tributes that I made for Darlene. But yeah, anyway. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever else I do. Stay golden, and later, folks. And yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, considering I've been recording for almost 4 hours at this point, this video is going to be chopped up into parts. So, don't worry, I'm not going to force you to watch a 4-hour-long video, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so take care.